First, though, as we just heard in the news, FBI investigators in Boston have released the pictures of two suspects in the Boston Marathon bombings. Both men are seen carrying backpacks, with one suspected of depositing his backpack where the second bomb detonated. The attack earlier this week left 3 people dead, over 170 people wounded, many of those injuries quite severe and quite horrific. Jeff Horblit is a former FBI investigator who was involved in the first World Trade Center bombing. He's also a former New York prosecutor. He joins us from Boston this morning. Jeff, welcome to Breakfast.
Hi, good morning.
Jeff, how significant is this, do you think, this release of these photos by the FBI?
Well, I think it's very significant, and I think the tone, tenor, and content of the FBI statement reflects a confidence that these two men are involved.
You can see why they might be confident that releasing these photos might help them find these men, because the photos are surprisingly clear, aren't they?
They are very clear, and I think that it is just a matter of time that somebody does not recognize each of those men.
Now, they've released photos and video too, I think, is that right?
I know that there is a video. I'm not sure if they're releasing the video, but they are releasing the photographs for sure.
I only saw a snippet of the press conference. How confident was the FBI investigator leading this, Rick DeLaurier, that these men are the ones concerned? I note that he did describe these people as likely to be armed and extremely dangerous, which, as you say, suggests the FBI is basically pointing the finger here.
I think your description is accurate. Their characterization of these two men will certainly lead you to believe that they're confident these men are involved.
How specific was Rick DeLaurier about what these men have done? One of the photos I've seen has one of the blokes carrying a black backpack. We know that one of the bombs, the pressure cooker bombs, was in a black bag. Did Rick DeLaurier specifically say, this man is carrying this backpack, we believe this backpack is the bomb?
He identified one of the suspects, I believe suspect number 2, as the man who they believe placed the bag on the ground at a relevant spot. I don't know that they made the next logical leap, but they did identify number 2 as being observed putting the bag down.
So that suggests they do have CCTV footage which shows these two people walking through and moving through the crowd and depositing a backpack.
Yeah, the video depicts the two men walking through the crowd and both men carrying backpacks. That's correct.
And do we know, Jeff, where this video came from? There was a call out for all civilian phone footage and other video footage to be surrendered to the FBI so they could work on it. Has it come through that process, or was it more straightforward CCTV footage from one of the buildings nearby?
I don't know that there was talk that there was a department store nearby, in Taylor, where relevant video cameras recordings were recovered. But I think there was also mention of a restaurant or another business that may have captured these men walking even closer. So I think it's actually more than one source.
So this is really what you'd call in your business as catching a break pretty early, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what? In my business, you make your breaks, frankly. And I think this is a reflection of the hard work of the FBI as well as the other law enforcement agencies. I also think it demonstrates the importance of patience and, in this case, also the cooperation of the public. I mean, people sent in all these videotapes and photographs, stores, the public. That's an enormous benefit.
Jeff Horblit is a former FBI investigator who was involved in the first World Trade Center bombing. He joins us now from Boston. It's 8:09 on Breakfast. Jeff, these the photos that I've seen of these two men, they look quite young. Does that surprise you?
Well, I can't say it surprises me, but looking at the photographs, I would be reluctant to guess an age. The pace of their walk would suggest that they're certainly younger than me. But I don't know. I wouldn't guess their age.
As we were talking, I was just seeing some footage again replayed on the screen in front of me of the video of those two walking through the crowd. They look pretty calm. They look pretty innocuous. There's nothing rushed about them.
Yeah, there's nothing about them that would stand out in their dress or their demeanor. Unfortunately, that's what allows them to blend into the crowd.
Given the images we've seen, as I say, they're quite clear, really. You can see the faces of at least one of these men. How long do you think till the FBI will make an arrest?
I would be, you certainly can't speculate or guess because there's just no way to know. Much depends on what arrangements these two have made to try and go underground. But I would say that whatever their plans were, they did include being identified this early on. So I would suggest that it would be sooner rather than later.
Jeff Horblit, thanks very much for joining us on Breakfast.
Thank you so much. Glad to have you.
Jeff Horblit, he's a former FBI investigator. He was involved in the first World Trade Center bombing. He's also a former investigating that. He was also a former New York prosecutor, speaking to us there from Boston.